Okay, you know the old saying, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Well, that's not going to happen to us. Why? Because in this morning's Consumer Confidential, Vicky Nguyen's going to help us get ready for an emergency, whether it's severe weather or another kind of disaster, and she's got us all ready to go. So, yes. Vic, the time to get ready is before you need to get ready.
Exactly, right now. So after this show, I want people to take the time to go and look at their insurance policies. What is covered in your car insurance? What is covered in your homeowners? Typically, wildfire damage would be covered. Damage from a tornado, a hurricane, or some kind of storm, yes. But flood and earthquake, those are typically separate policies. They're more expensive. Right. If you live in flood or earthquake country, you may want to talk to an insurance specialist about adding on one of those policies.
Right.
Next, we have these smartphones now. All you have to do is walk through your house and take an inventory of what's in every room. It's really easy to do. Grandma's old clock, you know, this jewelry. You want that all in one place. Send it to the cloud, email it to yourself. And then when it comes to your documents, your birth certificates, marriage certificates, passports, all of that should be in one fireproof, waterproof box that's easy to grab on your way out in case of an emergency. And then when it comes to cash, this is interesting. FEMA says you should have small bills on hand, 5s, 10s, 20s. How much you keep at home is up to you. It's a personal decision. But in case of a power outage, look at what's happening in Houston. They've been out of power for 10 days.
ATMs don't work.
Right, exactly. So you want to have some money on hand. And this is an important one. Make sure everybody in your family, especially the kids, know how to get out of the house if anything were to happen. And also, where do you meet up? Let's say the phone lines are down. Do we know if you're at school, you're at work, where are we all going to converge in case of an emergency? That's important to go over.
Really quickly, in the case of insurance, do you need to have, in case you've got like expensive jewelry or artwork or something, you need to have
separate riders for those things, absolutely, and make sure you document them, because if you have to file a claim, you need to provide evidence.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so we have all those logistics in place, Vicky. So how do we actually prepare our home itself for an emergency?
So I'm guilty of this one, Dylan. You seem like the type of person who probably knows where all of your shutoff valves are, but that is something to go over. Everybody in the house, even your older teenage kids, could help too. Know where to shut off the water, the gas, because in case of an emergency, there could be leaks. The water could be unsafe. You want to be able to turn that off in your house. So do that and go over it every few months just to make sure everybody's still aware. This is where we turn it off. This is how we turn it.
Smart.
Next thing, securing large items like your tall bookshelves, your armoires, your dressers. That's good to do even if you just have kids before an emergency, but especially if you live in a place like California that's prone to earthquakes. You don't want any of that toppling over when the house starts rattling. When it comes to outside, hurricane country, right? You need to make sure your exterior doors can withstand hurricane force winds. That means they need to have a 1-inch deadbolt, at least 3 hinges. And when it comes to windows, and folks in Florida know exactly what I'm talking about, but tempered glass. FEMA also recommends that you obviously board up your windows if a hurricane is imminent. But NOAA says don't take the time to tape up windows. They say that's a waste of time and it doesn't do anything. Exactly. And then finally, always keep your trees trimmed. Make sure those loose branches are, maintained every 6 months or a year. Exactly. And even gravel. I didn't know this, but they actually recommend replacing your gravel with mulch, because in case of high winds, that gravel can become
flying rocks around.
Exactly.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these emergency kits that you should have. I was looking here and I'm thinking we have all of these things in the house, but not all in one place.
Right. Like, come on over. So first, we want to talk about water. They say that we should have at least a gallon of water per day, per person, for about 3 days. That's for sanitation as well as for drinking water. That's important. The other thing when it comes to food is having non-perishables, canned foods, things that are easy to eat, like protein bars. Also having a manual can opener is really important. A lot of people have those fancy, motorized ones. You want it to be manual. A first aid kit is vital. That basic first aid kit, you can get it anywhere, any drugstore. And then when it comes to other types of food, this is something they sell at a lot of those big box stores, but this is a 4-day supply for a family of 4. All kinds of ready-to-eat meals. Batteries are very important, and this one I really like.
Sorry, do you just mix this with water?
You mix it, and actually, I think most of these are just ready to eat. You don't have to add water at all. I'm not saying they taste great.
I know,
but
it's like salt mashed potatoes.
Do you want to live, Chanel?
We want to live. Okay.
Do you want to live?
And this is really important right here. The NOAA weather radio, so cool. You can hand crank it. You don't need a battery, or you can charge it with solar power. This one too, the solar power to charge your cell phones and things, because look, the power could be out for days and weeks. Keep it in a trash bag. Keep it somewhere safe, easy to access.
In a trash bag.
All of your, to keep it waterproof and all together.
Yeah, also, don't forget your pets.
Absolutely. Anything that they need, their pet supplies, that's really true. And medications as well.
Okay. I have an idea. What if I make you a kit if you give me these shoes? Can we just see these shoes? Just really quick? I can't. All all morning. I can't concentrate. These
sea creatures, aren't they? These are so fun.
They should be in my life. Okay, that's all.
All right.
All right,
Vicky.
Vicky, thank you so much.
Chanel, do you want to leave?
I want to leave. All right.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.